And now, but in the moment when your child is being disrespectful, it's very important. There are 3 ways you can handle things. You can either be passive, aggressive, or assertive. And for the sake of your child, depending on whatever the temperament they have, it's best to be assertive. So now let's look at primal needs scenario. Earlier on, we talked about attention bucket and whatnot. So this is a child maybe constantly whining or interrupting your call. You're on the phone and they say, "Mommy, look at my car. Mommy, look at my shoe. Mommy, look at my," and then you're just feeling irritated, and then a child frequently saying no to what you ask, or a child being defiant when punished and then breaks things and hurts people. Now, I'm going to ask again, how would you handle the situation? Just with a little knowledge of what I've mentioned, how would you handle the situation? Alice, I'm going to address your question. All questions will be addressed at the end. Okay, no idea. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so for a child that is constantly whining and interrupting your call, this is your child seeking undue attention. In the next slide, I'm going to let you know how to pick up on these things. But this is your child seeking undue attention. The actual cure for undue attention is ignoring. Now, as much as you're going to ignore, you have to make sure that you're filling up that attention bucket. And when your child is verbal enough, you let them know, when I'm on the phone, I'm not going to answer you. Or when I'm doing this, or when you say, even for my son, there was a time he was whiny and, trying to get my attention. And this is just something I tried. And I went to him and I'm like, "Suyi, when you need mommy's attention, no whining, okay? Say, "Mommy, I need your attention." And kids are funny. My son now comes to me, "Mommy, I need your attention." And, we kind of already removed that behavior. And I would tell him, if I can't give him the attention right now, I use when and then. Okay, when mommy is done with her work or when mommy is done with this, then we do this. And to help him, sometimes I'll set a timer on my phone. Okay, when the timer goes off, then mommy will have your attention. You can take my phone when the timer goes off. Then you let me know. Giving him some control of the situation as well. Trying to use all the buckets as much as we can. But yeah, that's how you can communicate with them if they're able to, at the level that they are, that when this happens, I'm not going to respond to you. If it's a child constantly interrupting your call and they're much older, I say, okay, so you don't forget, you can write it down. When mommy is done, mommy is going to come and attend to what you want to tell mommy, that kind of thing. But make sure you're filling up that bucket. You can't just decide to ignore and not fill up the attention bucket 10 minutes a day, twice a day. Now, to a child that is frequently saying no to what you ask, this is a power struggle. And to be honest, just like how you don't give in to whining, you don't give in to a power struggle. So what would this look like? Now, my son is asking me, "Mommy, I need a cookie." And I'm like, "Oh, baby, we don't have cookie. We could have a cookie during the weekend. No cookies now." Then he tells me, no, I want a cookie. No, I want a cookie. I would give him an alternative, right? Like, okay, I know that you're hungry, you're feeling peckish, you feel like munching on something. I can give you can have yogurt, but we can't have, you can't have the cookie. And my son would probably throw a tantrum, and I will empathize. It's okay. I know it's hard. I know you like cookies. I know when you're a big boy, you have all the cookies that you want, okay? Well, you can have yogurt if you're really hungry. Just let me know when you need the yogurt. And he's like, "No, I don't want the yogurt." No, that's okay. You don't have to have the yogurt either. That's okay too. And then he calms down. He says, "Mommy, I need the yogurt." I'm like, sure. And so he still feels like he was in control. But at the end of the day, is what mommy said is going to happen. That is what happened. But I still gave him some control, but control within my limits. So that's it. So a child frequently saying no, don't give in to the power struggle. Be empathetic. Set your limits, offer an alternative if possible, and or follow through. Like when I said the bad time, you let them know that, okay, I hear you. It's really hard for you to do that, whatever. So mommy is going to give you a minute. Do you want to go? You give them a choice. Do you want to climb in the bathtub, or you need mommy to carry you to the bathtub? You've given them some control. Some kids would not say anything. You said, "Okay, baby, so now I have to take you into the bathtub." You still follow through, and then they're complaining, no, say, I know that makes you sad, but it's time for a bath, okay, baby? Still lovingly, still understanding. With time, they get with the program. They know when mommy says this, it's going to happen. But mommy isn't shouting. Mommy isn't, I don't feel triggered, nothing. I'm just like, we have to do this, okay? But I understand. I can give you an alternative. I can give you choices. But in the end, we have to do this. So now, and there are ways to effectively set limits I have a post on my page. I really can't go through that in detail, but the key to power struggles is not giving in. So now let's say your child is defiant, even with punishment, breaks things and hurt things. So this is a child that has reached the point of revenge. And I'm going to go through the next post so you kind of get what I'm talking about. So primal need. So now, undue attention, I've explained it. So I'm going to use bedtime just as an example to go through this list to understand what I'm talking about. So now, for undue attention, your child comes, mommy, I need water. Mommy, I need this. You already start feeling irritated, like, what's all this now? That's your child seeking undue attention. And undue attention can progress to power. When your child knows that I've got the power, like she's doing this thing because she knows she has to, I'm not going to bed, And bedtime is also another separate conversation. Like it's a whole thing to handle, but the key to is still not responding to that need. So in the sense that maybe you can tell them, okay, baby, you have 2 things you can ask for before bed. After that, nothing else. Do you need to go to the potty? Do you need to drink water? Do you need anything else? Okay, what do you need? That kind of thing before bedtime. And after that, that's it, that's gone. But that's one way to still make sure you do not give into the undue attention, but also bear in mind that at least you should have done your mind, body, and soul time before. Like I said, just before bed, I try to do my mind, body, and soul time, which is Suyi time with mommy, and Suyi time with daddy. So when you now start moving from irritated to challenged and provoked, and you feel like hitting your child, that's when your child has progressed to power. And you can tell that they're really trying to, exert their power on you. And that's when you start to feel that way. Your child only escalates the behavior when you start yelling. Unless you now beat your child down with punishment and whatnot. And then you have your child move into a state of revenge. So this is what happens when you fight back. And this is mostly for strong-willed kids. For sensitive kids, they would progress to the stage after revenge, which I will show you soon, which is assumed inadequacy. But for strong-willed kids, they start throwing, they want to hurt you back. They might throw your laptop, throw your phone, they want to, and you're just like in disbelief, you feel hurt. Now, when your child reaches a stage of revenge, they believe they don't belong and they're not significant. And the only way to really fix this is to let them know they belong and they are significant. You probably have to extend that attention bucket time to 15 minutes. Do more family bonding activities. It's a relationship issue. You really have to work on that. I'm not saying you're not going to address the behavior. You're going to address the behavior, but you make sure that you're filling up those buckets. Give them independence, autonomy, choices within your limits. And sometimes with revenge, also get them to open up. And with revenge, when a child is in a state of revenge, sometimes you might need therapy. They might be at the state of where they don't trust you anymore. And, they might be having things they're bottling up. They're not going to talk to you about just because they feel like, how is mommy going to react? Sometimes you might need therapy. And so usually like I said, that's what you do for revenge. You have to fix the relationship. Avoid logical consequences, because right now your child just believes every kind of consequences that is mommy against me. Because there's one thing I want to point out is that the whole goal of positive parenting, with positive discipline, is that you always want your child to feel like it's me and mommy versus the behavior, and not it's me versus mommy. No matter how you're saying, oh, don't worry, my child will see in the future that it's good for me. But they have built up resentment towards you. They have built up negative memories towards you. There's this thing you call when somebody does something to you, and there are just so many happy memories with the person that can help you suppress the situation that happened. Now, how many positive memories are you building with your child enough to suppress anything that goes wrong? So that is where the attention bucket is really helpful. So if you keep, the only thing your child has about you is that mommy is always yelling, mommy is always beating mommy. And you're in your own head, you're like, one day she will understand. For compliant kids like me, sensitive kids like me, peaceful kids like me, I'm phlegmatic. Yeah, you probably have me very forgiving and moving on. But for strong-willed kids, they will hold that grudge, So now moving from revenge, when a child now is revenging and you are hitting and you're still, they move to a state of assumed inadequacy. Now, they're not even trying anymore. They don't care. Like, that's when you see them looking for thrill-seeking behaviors. They're drinking, smoking, looking for attention in places elsewhere. Friends. For sensitive kids, they'll be part of the pack. For strong-willed kids, they'll be the leader of the pack, getting that power elsewhere. But this is what happened. And when a child reaches the stage of assumed inadequacy, where the parent feels like, I give up, therapy is usually the only way. So that's it with primal needs. So now imagine two different kids. So same thing, a child one is spanked, child two, the primal needs are met. Who is likely to seek attention or power through other means? You can answer in the chat, but I think that's somewhat clear. Who is less likely to seek attention or power through other means? Okay, so child two. So now you might ask me, why can't I teach my child with spanking? Like, I can teach him to spank him and tell him, you can't be angry. Or I can spank him and say, see, when you're angry, you breathe. Now, this is why it wouldn't work. Now, if you're trying to spank a child to stop being angry, nobody can suppress anger. You can only redirect the anger. And that happens with us even. Like, can you imagine you being angry and I say, stop being angry? Like, it's not possible. You can only teach them how to cope, but you can't just say, stop being angry. So now they can't stop it. They will take it elsewhere. For strong-willed kids, they will express it on vulnerable people. And you see your child becoming a bully. And because they've not even gotten empathy, kids do not naturally have empathy till age 4. So most times you have to teach it to them. Because they have no empathy, they don't even know what the person that they're bullying is feeling. So this is where you groom a bully. For sensitive kids, they will express it by crying and they become very vulnerable to abuse and bullying just because they think it's okay to be treated that way. Now, I want to spank my child to learn how to breathe. Now, the thing is that when a child is emotional, the downstairs brain takes over. So it means that they can't think. So they can't learn anything when they are in fear. So you have spanked your child is fearful, crying, sad, everything, a ball of emotions, fully functioning on their downstairs brain. There's no way they can think. Anything you're saying is going in through one ear and out the other one. So, so you can't teach true regulation while the upstairs brain is shut. He even needed me to regulate. As much as he looked calm when I met him there, he wasn't regulated. He's just somebody that probably knows how to, keep it in. But in the end, my son is 2. He needed me to regulate. So you can't be having an outburst and in that moment teach them regulation.